Welcome to the Regular People's Podcast.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
How
How's
are you
everyone
doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Regular people.
Yeah, it's our third episode today.
Our third, we are going wild today. We are going wild.
So we dropped the second episode last week, which was the first official drop, even though it was the second episode. Today we decided to drop the third episode, and we're just gonna reflect a little bit on how are people receiving it? How do you feel about it?
How do you feel about it? Drop the comments in the comment section below. Tell us what do you feel about the episode that we dropped, even this one as well.
Yeah.
I feel like if you tell us, then we're gonna know where to improve and all that stuff.
Absolutely, because that's all we wanna do. We wanna improve. We wanna keep giving you guys the best content. So tell us, but personally, what did you think? What did you think of the reaction? What did you think of the views?
I think people were generally happy.
I
think people were reacting on my Facebook stories or wherever they saw it, on TikTok.
Yeah.
We got TikTok as well, people.
Yes, we are building a multi-platform network. So we're gonna be everywhere. We're gonna be on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we are moving to streaming as well. We are going to
we're going live.
We're going live on Spotify. We're going live on Apple Music, Google Podcast, Stitcher, everywhere you find your podcast. We're gonna be
we're gonna be there. I just want us to start it afresh, ne? I want you to tell me about how was your week going, because my week, I was bored, man.
Yeah, so I had an interesting week. I had normal week. Obviously, I was now starting to work two jobs because after my normal job,
niggas with two jobs, multiple streams of income.
After my normal job, I'm a network executive, nigga. So
you're not a podcaster.
No. I don't do what is podcasting?
I'm
building a platform, nigga.
What is network executives? Maybe we can buy into it.
So as a network executive, I get home. Essentially in the morning before I go to work, I post a video on all the platforms. One of the videos that we recorded during the weekend, during our main episode.
Great work ethic.
I posted on multiple platforms. So after work now, I have to check the comments, check how people are reacting to it, reply to some shit, and just try to keep the activity going. So it's been a very grueling week, but it was a nice exercise. You do your normal job, you come back home, you do this other job that you absolutely love. So I had passion. So I had a good week, but we live in South Africa and shit is always popping up.
South Africans, behave yourself, please.
Of course. So one of the days this week we're driving to work. We do this carpooling thing with colleagues. So we are based in Pretoria. So our work is based everywhere. But right now we are in Sandton. So we have to drive to Sandton at least 3 times a week, if not 4, depending on the work. So on one morning we are driving, and we live in South Africa. We have things like load shedding. Yeah. So after we pick up one of our colleagues and we trying to rush to get some fuel so that we can get to Sandton, there's a robot that's not working, so we just pass. Meaning we are breaking the law, right?
You are breaking the law by passing the robot.
Yeah. Even though it's not working, because if it's not working, you're supposed to use it as a stop sign. So this police officer just jumps on the road, and he can see with so much excitement and so much
jump
eager.
On the road. In which way? Like he just physically jumped on the road?
Physically jumped on the road in front of the car, and the car is rushing because, as I said, we are trying to rush to get fuel so that we can actually get to work on time.
Yeah.
So this nigga jumps on the road and he stops the car. Like he just points at the car to indicating that we should stop.
Oh, okay. So
and
like
obviously,
stop right there.
Yeah. So obviously we are in a rush. So we even almost hit this nigga. This nigga is eager and enthusiastic. As obviously you are looking at it as like, yeah, this man loves his job.
Yeah, you love your job. You can jump in front of the car. You might
are risking
die.
your life. You're thinking, no, this is law enforcement.
This is not,
Yeah.
Then what happened?
But that's not what's happening. This man is eager for something else. And I think...
What is it? Tell us, man.
And I think we all know what happens when these, especially these metropolitan officers stop you. Either Johannesburg or Tshwane. I think we all know. So this nigga... comes to the driver's side and he says, Ergo kwale 1,000.
1,000 for
Yeah.
what?
For obviously not stopping when you were supposed to stop. On I get that thing is just
It's
it's a
used
stop
as
sign.
a
Yeah.
stop sign.
So we are he like 1,000, but he says it in like a sarcastic way,
Okay.
indicating that this nigga doesn't even want to charge you shit.
He just want to give you this bait to say if you pay this 1,000, then
You're
you
gonna
might pay something else, you know,
That's
a
less than-
bribe or something.
This nigga is soliciting money from us.
But what did he say to
Yeah,
realize that this
he's
guy wants a
soliciting.
bribe?
Okay, so he obviously asked for a license. Do you have a license? Yes. The guy who was driving produces his license. And this nigga proceeds to saying, "Ergo kwale 1,000." And then he looks at the driver, right? And then he's holding his book like this.
He's not writing anything.
He's not writing anything.
Write 1,000 there. We want to see.
And then none of us are responding, right? We are waiting for this nigga. And
to
then,
write 1,000
yeah.
there.
And then he goes to check the car registration thing because I guess they need more things to
More information
to fuck you up. For example, if
okay.
the car is not like that whole disc thing. If it's,
Okay, it's
yeah,
not
so that he
there.
can say, okay, it's 2,000 now. But he gets to see that the car is actually fine. The license disc is still valid. And then he comes back and he comes to my side now and say, "Give me 1,000 there, man."
He's asking you.
He's
as if
asking
you are
me
the
now.
driver now.
And then he's asking the guy at the back. He's like, "Give me 1,000 this guy."
Mm.
But this guy is not writing anything. You know,
Yes,
so the guy at the back is obviously, we guys know what the fuck is happening here. This guy wants money.
Wants
Let's
a
give him
bribery
yeah.
or something. Yeah. What happened?
And then we are obviously like, you know, we are broke as fuck, you know. So I think we have like 50 rand in the car. So we put together 50 rand, and then this nigga is like, okay, no, fine guys, have a good day. And then he takes the 50 rand. He doesn't give us a
write
ticket.
anything.
No.
Okay, no, you guys can go.
Yeah.
I have a lunch today.
Breakfast. I think he wanted to get some breakfast because
okay.
it was in the morning. But this is for me. This practice is absolutely disgusting. I know it's very normalized in this country, and everyone takes it as like normal. You know, why do law enforcement officers do this? I mean, it's a terrifying proposition. This guy is a law enforcement officer. He has a gun. He has a badge. This guy is the law. He's
the
given
law
so
of the
much.
country.
He's given so much power, but he can also be bribed with such little money. Then who is enforcing the law? If our traffic officers can be bought, or if even because he was a police officer, he's a metropolitan officer. So who is enforcing the law? If everyone has a price, nigga. If I am doing human trafficking, I can pay this nigga. I can do any crazy crime. Everyone has a price, and for me, that it's a scary situation when you have law enforcement officers, all of them having a price, or like they can be paid off for any kind of crime.
kind of crime, so you can get away with crime.
Absolutely. So and honestly, when it comes to road or rather traffic violations specifically, I think we need some reform. We think we were talking about this yesterday. We need to standardize these tickets so that these motherfuckers are not in a position to say out some ridiculous amount so that they can get you scared. And also, a traffic violation should not result in you getting a criminal record that's going to stay in your record forever or for 10 years, and then you have to do all this whole process to try to get it expunged. Because all these things are terrifying for us as motorists on the road. If you are on the road and this motherfucker is giving you this ridiculous ticket, you know that it can result in court dates, just a whole administration that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with that. Except that you don't want to get yourself in a position where you accumulated your degrees and everything, and then you have a criminal record that will prevent you from getting a job.
Yes.
So as a result, you are always in a position to give out a bribe in order to avoid all this administration of admitting to be guilty and then having a criminal record and all that stuff. So you want to avoid that.
Yes.
But then at the same time, we want the law enforcement officers to enforce the
law correct.
The law correct.
The law should be changed. I don't think a minor criminal violation should be treated as such. A criminal act of you being drunk and causing an accident that results in murder or in people getting killed, that's murder. So so how we codify the law should respond to specific instances. You miss a robot, it's a fine, it's a 50 rand fine, or it's a 100 rand fine. Let's standardize these things so that we don't give these people humongous amounts of power where now they come to us with this book and they're like, we are about to charge you 2,000 rand
and
for
you're
doing
about
a
to have
minor
a
thing,
criminal record if
which can fuck up your career, because when you register as a professional member of a board or a body or a society or whatever, they do a background check. And that background check of a minor road violation can prevent you from progressing with your career.
Job that you want.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think we should advise people to follow the road laws, or should we advise the law enforcement officers to enforce the law? Which one should we do?
So obviously, I think the law is flawed, and that's I think where the main issue is. But currently, since we have a flawed law, you're gonna pay the bribe. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You're gonna pay the bribe, but it is such a scary proposition that every time you travel on the road, personally, I don't have a car, but I do travel with people every day who have cars, and it's such a scary situation to be in that situation where now you are forced as a driver to pay a certain amount in order for you to just go to work. And I think people have made an argument of okay, maybe the government is not paying them enough, but man, there are a lot of people who are not getting paid enough, but these people do their job diligently.
No, what I'm saying is, are we advising the general public to follow the road laws, or are we advising the police to enforce the law? No, which one do we supposed to do now?
No, I think obviously you if you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you have to negotiate, either paying a bribe or dealing with that whole administrative issues of getting. So obviously you need to follow the rules of the road, but we understand that we don't live in a perfect society. There are certain instances or situations that forces you to do some shit. Sometimes you're a new driver, you do mistakes. So no one is gonna follow the law to the T always. And all I'm saying is that no one should be severely punished for making a minor mistake. That's really what I'm saying.
That's really okay. What you are saying is that we have new drivers in the road every day. So we should draft the law in a way that we allow them to make those minor decisions, minor mistakes, because otherwise we can understand that okay, this person is new.
No, I'm not saying we should make laws for new drivers. I'm saying the laws should be fair to everyone. The law should also take into account that you're not going to be able to follow some of the road rules to the T all the time. Either because you're a new driver or you are rushing home, there's an emergency, all sorts of things can result in you not following the law to the T. What I'm saying is that if you do a minor road violation, the law should not punish you in a way that makes you a criminal and ruins your life. That's all I'm saying.
So what you are saying is that we need to let people do minor violations and charge them minor charges for minor violations.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So
minor violations should be treated as such. If you are drunk, that's not a minor violation. If you are drunk and you kill people, that's mad.
That's mad.
That's what I'm saying.
So what happens if a minor violation that is perceived as minor violation
results in a big thing? You are charged.
No, it's not result in a big thing. It's perceived as a minor violation. What will be the minor violation?
We know what minor violation is.
Okay.
That thing can be defined. You, instead of stopping in a stop sign, because, for example, at a road robot, which, like, for example, it doesn't work, you're supposed to use it as a stop sign.
Yes.
By whatever reason you don't do that, that's a minor violation. Because
then what happens if you do that minor violation, then it results into something else?
Yes, then we charge you for that thing.
Then we allow people to do minor violations.
We don't allow, it's a violation. What do you mean? The reason why I call it a violation is because you are not allowed to do it. It's a violation. You are not supposed to break the law. That is why I'm calling it but it is a minor violation. If it results in you killing people, that's mad.
That's mad.
Of course, and you should be treated as such.
It should be treated as such.
Exactly.
So the law enforcement officers or the law for being there is to prevent things from happening.
Of course.
So we should fight by all means, guys, to be public servants who are abiding by the law. So what I want to plead to the people who are watching this is to say, please make sure that you are following the rules.
Yeah.
Because you following the rules might save someone else's life.
True.
Let's not define the minor violations. Let's not define anything. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you observe. Make sure you are safe.
There should
Then
be minor violations.
We should. No,
There should be.
I'm not agreeing to disagree with you.
There
But
should
I'm
definitely
saying,
be a minor violation.
even if we have those minor violations, they
You
might
not doing
lead
a 10 sign.
something.
You not doing like a 10 sign before you move because whatever you are dealing with an emergency, you should not be hit with something that's gonna affect your career. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I think we've addressed
We've addressed
this.
it.
That was my week, but you know it was also a sad week for one particular family, the Gardee family. We didn't touch on this last week, but last week Hillary Gardee was reported missing.
That was so bad, man.
Yeah, it was.
That was so bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. So Hillary Gardee, a 28-year-old daughter of the former General Secretary of EFF, Gardee, was reported missing. I think it was on Friday or Thursday of last week. Last seen in a convenience store with a 3-year-old baby. The 3-year-old baby was subsequently found around 8:30, walking the streets where Gardee lives. Gardee, unfortunately, was found Monday morning or Tuesday with a bullet wound behind her head.
Bullet.
A bullet wound. The family did do everything to try to find her back. There was a reward of 100,000 for any information, but unfortunately, the family did not get their daughter back. Their daughter was murdered. But there are also many other things that happened, and I think we are going to talk about them. So what do you think of this whole story, man? A daughter of a prominent politician killed.
You know, what I think is that, you know, to be a politician, especially an EFF, you know, where you have mandates that, you know, push a specific agendas that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. You know, the one of the agendas will be the land issue.
Yeah.
And besides the land issue, one of the agendas will be, you know, pushing the private organizations to really take care of their employees and all that stuff, which we're gonna touch when we talk about the union thing. So this person, Hillary Gardee, who's the daughter of former EFF Secretary General. I think it has a motive that is bigger than that, because they said afterwards, you know, some money was withdrawn, which is just 1,300. So that's a minor money for us to legitimate this as a crime to get money.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is that it was subsequently found that Gardee, her account, I think there were activities in her account where cash sends were sent directly to her. So the police currently are presuming that the criminals might have asked her to withdraw a certain amount of money. But what EFF has subsequently came out to say through their spokesperson was that it cannot be that someone is killed for a mere 1,300, and the police should not narrow the investigation into just petty crimes. They should broaden this in maybe like look at it as a premeditated murder for political reasons. So the EFF is really urging the police to not narrow it down as a petty crime, because this doesn't look like a petty crime, at least given the facts. This is a daughter of a prominent politician.
Yes.
A opposition party that Martin has already said has very robust policies that maybe a lot of people might not agree with. So all of those factors needs to be investigated. But what the EFF was also complained about is the handling of the scene, and I think we have actually talked about this as well when we were talking about the Senzo Meyiwa case.
I think you know, the police are doing a very bad job when it comes to handling the scene. I think so. If they did as well in this case compared to the Senzo Meyiwa case,
yes,
I think, you know, they are doing a very bad job. Police, please do your job diligently when it comes to the scene, because that's where we can find the
critical
evidence.
Yes, so EFF was specifically complaining about the fact that the police did not recover any bullet cartridges at the crime scene, and also what they are criticizing specifically the police of is to allow a walkabout of the media at the crime scene before the crime scene could actually be processed accordingly. So that walkabout obviously will contaminate the scene. So specifically when there is a murder, you need to understand whether the person was dropped there or was killed there, because that gives you an indication and also a timeline as to what unfolded, and you can follow this timeline to at least try and uncover some very crucial clues as to what might have happened.
Yes, maybe the motive behind that. If he was murdered next to a bank, we might say maybe she was refusing to give the money.
Yeah.
So if we can't find information on where she was murdered, I think we might miss a lot of information.
Yes, and also EFF has continued to say, you know what, if, and this is one of the controversial things that we all know, the leader of the EFF always says, but I think he was warning or urging the police that they should follow the 72 hours that they had set for themselves to find the criminals, or they will find the criminals themselves and they do not promise as to what will happen to the criminals.
What do you think will happen to the criminals if EFF, manage to follow through whatever they are doing and they find the criminal before the police? What do you think EFF might do?
Obviously, if EFF EFF it's an organization with very passionate members, but that's exactly what we should be very careful about. We do not want to be in a situation where there is this element of vigilante that we've been complaining about anyway in this country. We don't want the regular people who are not law enforcement taking the law in their own hands, because that sets a very bad precedence. If we are in a situations where normal individuals can go out there and look for criminals, what if they found the correct criminal? They want to kill they might kill someone who might have not done the crime, because they're not going to give them the due process. They're not going to, justice will not be served. You might kill someone who didn't even commit the crime. So the police must really take this seriously, and they must ensure that they find the justice for the slain daughter of Gardee. And this is a very painful thing. Actually, today was today we mean Saturday. I don't know when you guys are gonna see this. Saturday the 7th was her burial, and it was a very emotional burial. I watched a little bit of it. Sister Rebecca was there. She also spoke a little bit at the funeral, and I think performed. So this person was at the peak of her life. I mean, she was a small business owner, just completing also her post. I believe she was doing a post diploma in IT with UNISA, and also she had a child, as we've already said, an adopted son. So this person was obviously a good citizen.
Yes,
doesn't deserve anything like this.
Oh, okay, no. Hey, that's very painful.
It is painful.
Let's stop the crime, people. Let's stay away from crime. Let's stop killing people, especially women.
Yeah, especially women. I mean, let's stop this thing.
Yeah, let's stop this thing.
Anyway, those are the very painful news. But we also move to things that may that happened this week. As we all know, in South Africa, 1 May we celebrate Workers' Day. But this year we celebrated it on the 2nd. I don't know. We celebrated on a Sunday. There are usually multiple events that happen throughout the country, and one such event was supposed to be held in Rustenburg, and the president attended.
The president.
Yes.
So basically, what happened in the event is that the president was booed by the people who attended the conference, or whether should we call it a conference or whatever we call it.
Yes.
Yeah, but the event. So what happened in that instant is that the people were in strike from the Stillwater mining in the Rustenburg. So it seems they were in strike few weeks prior to the event. So when the president started speaking, they didn't want to hear anything from him. I think part of the reason why that happened is because people of Rustenburg are still stuck into the Marikana incident, which was very painful, and I think most people don't take it very serious. But I think it's part of the thing that contributed to the event. Yes. What can you add from the story? What have you heard?
I've heard a number of things. So yes, the president was like we already said. ANC has this alliance with COSATU as well as the SACP. They call it a tripartite alliance. It has been happening for years. So COSATU is the federation of all unions in South Africa. All unions are under COSATU. It is the umbrella. So COSATU made an event in Rustenburg, a workers' event. I guess maybe they already knew that there was a strike in Sibanye Stillwaters. They wanted to address those. The workers of Sibanye Stillwater are asking for a measly 1,000 rand increase. But obviously, the big bosses as well as the investors and the CEOs. In fact, the CEOs are denying them that increase, and they have been on strike for a while.
But then 1,000,
let me just
finish. 1,000.
It's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous.
So Ramaphosa was said to speak to them, but as we've already said, Ramaphosa has been accused of some very damaging things. Ramaphosa at the time of the Marikana thing was the president of the ANC and a board member of Lonmin. So it is alleged, and there were commissions held on this, where Ramaphosa was accused of giving the kill order that has resulted in what we now know as the Marikana massacre, where 34 miners were killed in August of 2012. So people are still really not comfortable with Ramaphosa as a result of his contribution to the whole, to that ordeal, which was dubbed one of the worst massacre that has happened since 1994. Like post 1994, that was the worst massacre that has been done by the state in this country. And Ramaphosa was everywhere on it. He was the deputy president, as I've already alluded, 2012. He was also the board member of Lonmin at the time.
That's too bad, man. It was around 2012, maybe Augustus.
Yes.
Somewhere around those dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very bad, man. It was very bad. I was looking at those video clips. The way people were dying there, it's like, we are shooting some kind of bait or something. Yeah. I hate it how a lot of people handle the issue. How can the police use the guns, real guns, instead of rubber bullet?
It's sad, man.
It's very sad, man.
It's a very sad situation that happened. But over and above that, there is this thing that we wanted to talk about. In fact, on this segment, unions. Unions in South Africa, rather unions all over the world, have played a very important roles in advancing workers' rights. I mean, we have weekends now because of unions. We have things like paid maternity leave because of just general organization of workers. And if you look at what has happened throughout the years, is that unions, especially in our country now, talking about South African context, unions have associated themselves with political parties. And I think this is a major problem. And so union leaders are political leaders. And this has resulted in the deterioration of trust between workers and unions.
Okay, no, I get you.
If you don't trust the ANC and there's a union that's allied to the ANC, you are going to have a problem. Unions are supposed to be only for workers, and they do workers' rights only. They're not supposed to associate themselves with politics. And this has resulted in a thing that has happened, and I've seen it, where in professional careers or whatever, people think joining a union is an unprofessional thing because they associate it with politics. But that's not actually the fact, and that's not actually a fact, and that's not actually what's happening. Unions are supposed to work for workers' rights. That's all a union is supposed to do. But in South Africa, unions have been kind of like, political parties a little bit. And now people believe that, at least in certain careers, being part of a union resembles you being part of a political party, which is not supposed to be the case. Unions are supposed to be used as a vehicle to advance workers' rights. That's all a union is supposed to do. And I hope now, and this is the next thing that we saw this week with another party that's introducing this element of unions.
Unionism. I think, EFF, is striving to really do that. I think part of what I read is that prior to the COVID-19,
yes,
they wanted to really introduce the union.
Yes.
So it's just that COVID-19 for some reason tempered with their intention. So now they are bringing it back. They are bringing it back to say now we are in a good position as EFF,
yes,
to introduce this union by EFF. So therefore, we're going to push the needs of the employees without having to rub shoulders with the employers. And then with that said, as we know EFF,
yes,
they are very robust when it comes to issues. So I think, this is what I think.
Yes.
I think EFF is aligned with, the union directly, and then COSATU will be aligned with ANC directly.
Yes.
I think there are unions apart from EFF and ANC like PSA,
Yeah.
that claim that they are not aligned to any political party,
Uh-huh.
that, really push the mandate. But I think EFF will always be above all of them because they are robust in nature.
Yeah.
And employees are bruised because of employers' abuses and employers not paying them well and all of that. So as I really hope for for EFF, what do you think about the issue?
I really do hope something happens with like just unions in general in this country. I think what I wish for is to have servers unions of people who restaurant servers. Those people should have unions. Protectors such as security guards, security personnel. Those people should have a union. Retail workers should have a union. Professionals, especially young professionals who are going into interns,
and then they're not hired and all that stuff.
who are going to training contracts, learnerships. There should be a union that looks into those things. But with regards to the EFF opening, I mean, it's like I said, in South Africa, as I've already said, historically unions are allied to political parties. But of course, I am criticizing that thing because there are a lot of things that might happen because political parties has its own agenda, ideology, and what they want to push.
Yes.
So there will always be situation where workers' rights might contradict what the EFF as a party is trying to do. So you see, this union now will be conflicted as to what they should do. So I really do believe that EFF will be more robust than COSATU will ever be, because honestly, COSATU at this point is just very, very, very bad at representing workers. And EFF, as we know, as a party, during the pandemic when workers were fired and they did not receive their UIF money, EFF was there striking and making sure that workers get their due, the money that they are owed. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. And honestly, unions, I think unions should be on a rise. And worker organizations are very, very, very important. Organizing as workers and then fighting for our rights over time, fighting for better conditions of long-term employment. All these things, they will only happen if workers come together and form unions or bargaining councils or whatever. So I'm positive that South Africa will move to the unions, where we are now become more unionized. Every industry, every sector has a union that's trying to advocate for worker rights.
Yes, EFF, we wish you good luck on that. We are in full support of what EFF is about to do.
Yes, so unions on the rise. But yeah, so today, this week, we also witnessed a few other things that happened, which were, I guess, unfortunate at the same time. So petrol decreased this year. This week, I think it decreased by 16 cents. But what was stunning and surprising and actually, frustrating was that while petrol is decreasing, even though honestly it's a marginal decrease of just 16 cents, diesel is going on another direction, and not just going on another direction, just skyrocketing by 92 cents.
What do you think caused all of that? What do you think, is the minor thing that, we underlook, but is the major effect in terms of diesel increasing to that 95%? So, 95 cents actually.
So there are many issues, obviously. In South Africa, honestly, here's what's happening. Petrol is controlled, rather the oil price specifically is controlled by demand and supply. So what demand and supply, the law of demand and supply says is that if there is more demand and less supply, the price soars. So we saw during the pandemic when there was demand was almost non-existent, the price plummeted.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the controlling. Petrol is controlled by, or rather, the price of oil is controlled by the market, and that is a very, very, very dangerous thing, because if we give the market all autonomy on the price of petrol, we are gonna find ourselves in situations where we are now paying in South Africa a liter 40 rand, because you know, the market will be indicating that it should go to 40 rand. So the petrol price, or rather, when you look at the petrol price has increased to over 100. A barrel has increased, has moved to over $100 a barrel, and this hasn't happened since 2012. The last time the barrel cost $100 was 2012. But right now, it's been a number of issues. As we know, the Ukraine and the Russia thing is happening right now, and Russia being one of the highest exporters of oil, meaning the supply is going to dwindle. Significantly, is going to plummet.
And it's been over 2 months now since the war has been going on.
Exactly. So now with the sanctions coming in, Western markets, Western countries sanctioning Russia, they decrease the prices of oil, or rather they decrease the demand, or rather the supply of oil, general supply. So when general supply decreases, the companies are running all the way to the bank. And we saw this on a story that we're just going to read here, where oil companies are very happy about the situation. Oil companies are breaking records when it comes to profits. And this is something that we talked about yesterday, where if you look at the performances of different oil companies, and we're about to read you the numbers here. If you look at Shell announcing their quarterly reports on Thursday, posting a 9.1 billion in earnings, a record 9.1 billion in earnings. That's compared to 6.4 billion that they did in 2021.
That's major move.
And to be fair, to be clear, it hasn't. I mean, the year hasn't even. We're still in the middle of the year.
We're not even in the middle. We are still in the first quarter of the year.
Second quarter now. Second quarter of the year.
Of the year.
So you can for example, look at Shell. Shell posted high profits. Other major oil companies also announced major gains. Let's look at BP. BP announced it hit 6.2 billion in the first quarter, up 4.1 billion last quarter. Let's look at Total. Total has reported 9 billion profit in the first quarter, up 32% from the last quarter in 2021. Also, US-based Chevron has reported 6.3 billion in earnings, up from 5.1 billion in the last quarter. So companies are extremely happy about the situation.
It means the companies are exploiting their customers.
Of course.
Although there's a crisis,
exactly,
they find an opportunity to really exploit the customers.
And you said you talked about a very important thing: exploitation.
Exploitation of the customers without even caring whether the customers will be able to, or whatever the reason. They just want to exploit them.
Yes, and this is a thing. So what do you think the companies want? The companies want this war to continue? If you are making this much money, you want this war to be ongoing.
You're gonna pray this war must continue so then we can be able to make this large amount of money.
And unfortunately, they don't just pray. What they do is that they will influence the politicians. They will influence Washington, D.C. politicians. They have what we call lobbyists. Oil companies have a well-oiled machine, lobbyists that stay in Washington, D.C., put money on the pockets of politicians via political contributions and say, send money at Ukraine, send them weapons, let the war continue. Because as the war continues, they continue to rake in billions of dollars.
For the first time, I've realized that, if there's a war, the UN must come in and say, let's negotiate and find a peaceful move.
Exactly.
Or any other organizations that is for human rights. But then what's happening here is that nobody is down for that. Everybody is sending weapons, keep killing people, keep fight Russia, and they make Russia a bad guy. So, but consequently, it affects the oil, it affects the petrol, it affects the diesel. So it's really bad, guys.
Yeah, and I think maybe let's touch on why diesel is so crippling. The increase in diesel. Diesel is used by our major trucks when we buy some things, or when things are being transported to different retail stores. So the increase in diesel really hits the customer in the pocket.
That's true.
And that's why inflation is so out of control. Inflation, I think, is projected to be at least 5 or 6, because what the South African government wants to keep inflation between 3 and 6. But right now it's almost at 6. So meaning any increase or in salaries under 6% is negligible, because you are looking at this inflation that's totally out of control. I mean, look at the price of cooking oil. The price of cooking oil is unaffordable. And this affects small businesses, all these on the road.
Because
They are not
using
profitable
cooking
anymore.
oil, 90% of the time.
So this war that's very much obviously going to be encouraged by these numbers that we've just read to you will continue to affect the regular people in the most negative way. Even though obviously, there are a number of things that happen that are positive. The dollar, the rand has become a little more stronger, which, and also petrol barrel prices went down a little bit, which is why we had that decrease of 16 cents. But this is not going to last, because the fuel levy that was temporarily reduced, or by Ramaphosa, is ending 31st May, meaning I think it was around 1 rand 30 cent increase. So I don't know. So but that thing is about to expire, meaning the 16 cent 1 rand 30 cent irrelevant. Petrol goes up again as a result of this levy coming back on the 31st May. So what do you think should happen with this levy situation? Levy is revenue, but also we are trying to balance between collecting revenue and making sure that people are able to get to work.
I think, a levy is important because, it's part of tax. But at the same time, it affects people.
In
because
a very
now,
negative way.
If the levy is expiring on the 31st of May, it means now the petrol is going to soar. So which is going to affect the trucks that you are delivering back and forth, which consequently going to affect the food prices, because now the trucks are delivering those food prices and other things. So I think, we should re-look at the levy, maybe decrease it a little bit if we keep it.
Yeah, maybe decrease it.
Yeah, maybe decrease it.
Or I think, honestly, my opinion is that we should get rid of it this year. As long as the war is ongoing, I think we should look into other... I mean, why did we decrease corporate tax to 27%? I mean, that's such a ridiculous thing to do. Because now you see we have all these other issues that are affecting regular people. I think tax corporations at 30%, decrease the levy totally, which helps not just businesses, helps regular people and businesses. So that's just what I think the president would do, but I doubt he does something like that.
The president, you are not robust. I don't know what's wrong with the president, but anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. So, but there are other news, guys, that we wanted to look into this week. So the other thing that I really wanted us to talk about, and I know this for you, we didn't even talk about this on our preparation.
Yes.
There's been a news subsequently that has news that has broke about the Senzo Meyiwa, because so what we do on this podcast, the last one, as you guys saw it, we talked about the trial. We gave you guys, you can go back, there's also a separate video that you could watch that specifically touched on the Senzo Meyiwa trial in detail, who is arrested, what are they arrested for, and so another thing that happened this week is that Senzo Meyiwa's sister, I think it was his sister, came out and spoke to the media, and he talked about what he thinks happened. So there is this story that keeps coming back, that people really believes Senzo sister and others really believe that Senzo was not killed by criminals or the people who are currently arrested. They believe he was killed by someone in the house. So that's something that I saw on the Durban newspaper called the Sunday Tribune. I was trying to look up the newspaper as we speak right now so that we can talk about it. Actually, I think it's this one. So the story is titled "Lies, Bribes, and Cover Up in Meyiwa's Murder." So this is.
So do they really think that somebody in the house killed Senzo, and then they acted as if somebody broke into the house?
Yes. So even when you watch that documentary, you say it might be manipulated. They also look into this theory because they talk to the next door people, the people who live next door, and the people next door. I think it's a former police officer. He also attested to the fact that he didn't see anyone come out of the house, which obviously doesn't mean there was no one who came out of the house. if you understand what I'm trying
Okay,
to
I
say.
didn't see.
The documentary, yeah. But that's the story, and maybe I can read a little bit here so that we can see what are they alleging. So this is in the Devon Tribune. We will link
The link in the description,
and you
the
can
article.
check out the article yourself. So Police Minister Bikele has labeled the mastermind behind the delay in getting justice for slain Bafana Bafana goalkeeper coach. Tele has been accused of interference, bribery, underhandedness that have resulted in a 7-year-long delay in bringing Meyiwa's killers to book. Snobile Mapisa, the sister of Mtogozi's Mapisa, one of the men on trial. So I said Senzo Caesar. One of the sister of a man on trial, one of the men on trial has made the claim saying she could no longer keep quiet, especially after Malesela Tefo, the advocate representing her brother and the other 3 accused, was arrested in court this week. Therefore was released on bail, as we've already said, for 10,000 rand on Friday. Mapisa said that since the trial began, therefore, who represent one of the 3, or rather, you said the 4 of the 5 in 2014. Yes. She said visiting her brother in prison twice a month was difficult, knowing Kele orchestrated his alleged involvement. What we know is that Senzo's killer was inside the house. I went around Foslo and neighbors confirmed that there was no intruder. The only car that was seen driving out hours after the gunshots was Kelly's taking Senzo to the hospital. So that's the story. The sister of one of the accused is saying the police is lying.
He's saying the police is lying, so it's only one car that went out.
That's what she says the neighbor told her.
Okay. But what is it continuing there? I see the quotation as well.
Yeah, so he said, I also discovered that there were 2 dockets prior to the current ones. Those contained the truth, but they have since been squashed. My family also had recordings of Senzo's best friend from Devon, who was in the house that night, calling the Meyiwa family, saying someone in the house had shot Senzo by mistake. In the background of the recording, Kelly's head crying, asking what she would tell Meyiwa family. What happened to those recordings, the sister asked. There are more than 3 detectives who have been fired for wanting to reveal the truth. So this is the story being told by the sister of one of the accused, saying there is a cover up here. What do you think of the story? And
I think the sister talking from the family side. I think she might be telling the truth. I'm not sure, but we can believe her because she was the one who was experimenting all of that. So I think I don't know really. I don't want to really make any input into the story. Maybe we should wait up to the end of it and see what's actually the truth.
Yeah, we should definitely wait for the trial. Well, honestly, I do not believe that the sister is in the best position to tell us what happened. She obviously has massive conflicts. His brother is arrested for this murder, and I'm sure she doesn't want his brother in prison.
Yeah.
So obviously, if we are talking about someone who has motive to lie, it can be her. But obviously, we are not calling her a liar. What we are indicating is that we are going to wait for the trial, because she's made more and more allegations about what happened. I can read some of them. She said they promised the Dazi family 3 million, asking that he would take the fall and promising him a reduced sentence. The Sibia family was promised 100,000 and a reduced sentence, but he is being tortured by the police, getting assaulted daily. My brother was approached and they promised to reduce his current murder sentence. So those are some of the allegations that she continues to make. That money has been promised to these guys, as we've said, professional killers, people who have killed before, most of them. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how this one plays out.
Yes. I think, there's a lot of stories that will bring about confusion, because the 3 million, the 100,000, reduced sentence, who's arrested and all that stuff. Yeah. I feel like, there's more to this story than we can physically see. I think we should, pay close attention and update the people as to what is going on with regard to this case. But I feel like the case needs to come to an end. It's been so long.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The case needs to come to a conclusion. But we will keep updating everyone or weekly. This is going to be a weekly segment when there is a story, when there is something that we want to and I kind of like I didn't say this in our preparation, but
yes, we almost missed it.
Yeah, we almost missed it.
Almost.
So that's the story about Senzo Meyiwa for this week. But you know, I mean, we've talked about such important topics, and I think we should just right now move on to more
celebrity
news.
Or something.
Yeah. I think so. Part of the podcast is that we're trying to welcome anyone. If you are interested in these stories, in other entertainment, social issues, politics, economics, we are all over there. We're going to make sure that we take care of you.
We take care
so
of
Matain
you.
has an interesting story. So Matain, for whatever reason, I don't know him like that, but he's very interested in the ASAP Rihanna story. What's going on, sir?
It's wild because this has been boiling on since 2009. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about it. ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky came up with a song. I think it was dropped yesterday. That's My Bitch. That's the name of the song. It's not me. That's My Bitch.
Yes.
I think she was addressing Chris Brown on it. Because
why do you think he was addressing it?
He was Chris Brown. In 2009, February 8, there were video clips of Beyonce with some, bruises of being beaten by Chris Brown.
You mean Rihanna, right?
Rihanna, actually.
Yeah.
I mean Rihanna, yes.
Yes.
So, prior to that, Chris Brown was after that, in 2017, Chris Brown, released a documentary trying to explain what happened. And then in a documentary, Chris Brown was saying, exactly what happened was that they were on a Lamborghini in 2009, February 8. So in that Lamborghini, it means Rihanna saw some text message from some other lady who was texting Chris Brown.
Yes.
So after seeing that text message, she started fighting Chris Brown. That's how Chris Brown is elaborating on the story. So on the documentary that was released on 2017, and he further said that after that, they started fighting and fighting and fighting. But now ASAP Rocky is addressing the issue in 2022 in this song to say, I don't beat my bitch. That's my bitch. I love my bitch. So therefore, the people assume, since he didn't mention the name, that he's talking to
Chris Brown.
And
we will link the picture of Rihanna so that you can see how she looked. I mean, if it was, claiming self-defense, and there's such evidence. It's but so also actually it's I tried not to talk about the story honestly.
Talk about that thing. Why not?
So I was trying to stay away from it. Martin convinced me. So I also saw that there was there was a music video that ASAP Rocky released. And in the music video, there was a fake proposal, and everyone was going insane. All the blogs were reporting that Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are engaged now. As we know, Rihanna right now, I don't know, she's heavily pregnant with her first child. So people thought A$AP Rocky popped the question in one of the videos that he released. There was a video that was released this week, and I think it's called DMB. I don't even know.
That's the name of this. The name of the song is "That's My Bitch."
Yeah. So well, you guys can tell how much I don't care about this story. I don't even know what.
It's only fair that we let you.
Yeah. So it's sitting on 5 million views on YouTube, and it's also on Spotify. I saw it on Spotify as well. So we will obviously, I don't know if we continue talking about this, but that's an interesting thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about. But there's another guy that we love very much.
But before we get there,
now there's more.
In addition to the story of proposal, I saw a picture, and then there were some grills for A$AP Rocky. And that grills was written "Marry Me."
Of course.
And then Rihanna had some little grills as well. It was written "I do."
Yes, that's why people thought there was a proposal. That's what gave that people the idea. Yeah.
I think we will look at that, but I don't think a proposal is far-fetched. I think it's gonna come soon if that is not a proposal.
It's been confirmed, not a proposal.
Okay,
Yes.
but I think, sooner than later
sooner
they're
than-
gonna get married.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Rihanna story. I don't know if Martin still wants to talk about Rihanna, or do you want to talk about
We're
our
done
favorite
with
guy?
you, Riri. We're
You want
done
to talk
with
about our
you,
favorite
Riri.
guy? So last week, one of our successful videos has a couple of views.
Couple of
We
views.
talked about our boy, not our boy.
No, it's our
Grootman.
boy. It's our,
Grootman.
oh, our
Grootman,
Grootman.
yes.
Yeah.
Grootman, Prince KB.
The KBBBB.
Let's go, Prince
Man,
KB.
nigga.
Man, Prince KB is doing some moves, man. He is
Major
actually a slay king
moves.
now.
No,
He's
no,
slaying.
he's certified slay king.
He is slaying.
Prince KB, we see you doing
We
what you are
see
doing
you.
at Western Cape. We see you.
We see you.
We see you.
So I don't know if you want to say this, but a story came out. What happened?
We saw a story, that Prince KB is buying a vineyard,
Yeah.
a stake in a
vineyard.
vineyard. So the main purpose of the vineyard is to, actually come up with a wine.
Yes, a wine brand.
A wine brand named after his son, Milano.
Milano. Is it
Milano?
Milano?
I think it's Milano, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, named after his son Milano, which is anticipated to come soon since he
Yes.
bought that a stake in that vineyard. So we like to congratulate you first. We don't know if you own it or somebody bought you or something. We know you guys, are funny. But anyway, we want to congratulate you, Prince.
Congratulations
you are
to
doing great,
Prince.
man.
Yeah. We're gonna, as soon as it drops, we're not asking for anything. Just tell us where it's sold, where it's distributed.
We're gonna buy it.
We're gonna be drinking it on the pod.
We're gonna be drinking it on the pot, and we're gonna tell people how it tastes,
Uh-huh.
why they should go and buy it as
Yes,
well.
and I hope it's reasonable, Prince KB. We hope it's reasonable. But for whatever amount, as long as it's under 1,000,
Yeah,
we are
gonna buy
buying.
it.
We are buying it, and then we will be reviewing it on the show. Congratulations to Prince KB.
The Slay King, the
Let's
Slay
go.
King, the boss.
Yeah, so guys, we have a lot of fun recording this podcast. We're really trying to do something with it. We are always we're gonna do some other shit.
Yeah,
Obviously,
we're gonna do some
there will
other
be
shit.
more content coming, but right now, last week when we introduced our podcast, we said we have a whole HR specialist, as you guys know. And let me preface this by saying this: you guys know, I know, there's a lot of unemployment in this country, and we apply, but even last week I was looking at my profile in various recruitment
LinkedIn
services
and all those stuff. Yeah.
people are not replying to my application. So, and I know a lot of people are going through this same entire situation and will continue to go through. So I wanted us a whole HR specialist here,
Certified.
certified specialist, to explain to us what's going on, Martin, with this.
What's wrong with you guys?
What
I know
is
you are
happening?
applying and you are sitting there and you are depressed and you
No.
are asking yourself like, what can
is
I
going
do?
on?
What can I do to change the situation at home? What can I do to get a job? Oh, they are hiring their sisters and brothers. Okay, we understand that part. But what's wrong with you?
Uh-huh.
Why are you not getting that call?
What are we
that
doing wrong?
interview call?
What are we doing wrong? I've been asking myself. I
You've
have
been asking
applications
yourself, but you are sitting next to me every time.
what is happening. So
Woo.
so for the benefit of not just only me, but
Everybody.
for everyone, Martin, what's going on with this recruitment situation?
I think it all starts with, your CV.
Uh-huh. That's what we want us to break it down.
It all starts with your CV. Yes, the corporations are bad. Yes, recruitment systems are bad. Yes, people are bad. But then what can put you in those considerable CVs if your CV tap into the right employer? The employer who don't have any motive. What is it that you can do today that will change your CV forever? I think, one of the things that you need to do
Talk to us, sir.
is to get your CV in proper order. So,
Order?
first of all, order.
Order.
Your CV need to be nice. Your CV need to be presentable.
Presentable.
Your CV need to talk to the employer without you showing your face.
3.
And your CV should be not time consuming.
Of
Don't
course.
overload us with a lot of information about you joining a sports team at primary school. We don't want to hear that. Okay.
Information overload. No.
No. So, but then there's information underload as well. You should guard against that as well.
Talk to us, sir.
Because now, if your CV is presentable, and you gave us this little information, we will not guess.
Of course.
We will never say, oh, he was printing, while you didn't write that you are printing. What if we hire you and then you can't print? Okay, first of all,
yes,
get us your contact details.
Very important.
Your contact details means your email address, your name and surname, obviously, your ethnicity, if you are African, black, Indian. We need that for us to tailor down for employment equity as well.
Employment equity.
So that's what need to be in your contact details. Email address is very important. Your contact is very important. So after that, give us your qualification. Don't give us your modules. No, we don't want to hear that unless you're applying for a internship.
Okay.
But even if you're applying for internship, obviously you're gonna put your transcript there.
Oh, they will know. They will see it.
Yeah, we're gonna see on the transcript. So please don't put that in your CV. Just put your qualification. When did you finish it?
Imagine putting your modules from level year 1 to
yeah. You are filling the pages. You think you are doing something right, but the same modules are in the transcript.
Okay.
What's the use? So after that, put the employment history. Put the latest one.
Of course, at the top.
Yes, just like that. The latest, the one that you did before the latest, the oldest, just like that.
Yes.
So that will put you forward. But on top of that, if you printed papers, comrades, tell us. I was working in the office. Part of the duties that I was doing, I was printing and scanning and doing this. I was answering telephone calls from external and internal clients. I was assisting with. We want to hear those things. We cannot assume. What is not written, you didn't do.
Oh.
That's the second thing that I want to emphasize. And you need to be detailed because some of us were HR specialists, so we focus more on HR. So we don't know other jobs. But if you are detailed, you say, I was doing reports, I was sending it to manager will get approval, I was doing this. At least we'll get an idea. Then we'll understand you for who you are, not for who we are. Because we are HR, we are hiring people.
Yes.
So tell us what you have done in detail, comrades. And then after that, put your nice references down there. The other very important advice that I want to give to the people, and this is what I was doing when I was unemployed as well. If I have a friend who's working somewhere with a landline, I go to a friend's office, I start calling my references. Not even me personally, I can tell my friends to say, please ask these people, how do they feel about me working for them?
So check out your references.
Check out your references.
They might hate you.
They might hate you and they might smile on your face and you might think they like you, but they're the one who are preventing you to get the job. So make sure you put the references down there, which are 3 people that you trust, that these people will never let me down. And then the other thing that I've seen that will put you more advanced, maybe get a professional picture and put it there and revamp your CV nicely. If you do that, your CV will be attractive, will be detailed, will have all the information that we need. And then what else do you need after that? What else do you need?
You heard it from the man himself, people. And we're gonna do more of these. Today was just application. I hope you take everything that he said and then you apply it to your CV.
Application.
Or rather your application or your CV or whatever is very important. We're also gonna talk about in the next podcast. We're gonna talk about more things. We're gonna talk about interviews, induction,
yes.
all of these things that are very critical because this is, like we said, the regular people's podcast. We are not only interested in international news or national
celebrities
news.
or anything.
We are also interested in adding value to anyone who watches these podcasts. So we are going to be incorporating more of these situations. We are also going to talk about internships in general.
Yes. We're going to talk about how interns are really selected and what can you do if you're an university student to be able to be part of the 10% that they select. Yes.
Well, no, I thank you very much, Martin. I think people will appreciate this segment a lot.
Yes, ask the question in the comment section below. We're gonna answer them, with regard to this part and other parts. We're gonna go thorough, and you're gonna give us also the idea of what is it that we're gonna talk about. If we touch the issue of applying and all that stuff.
No, you've heard the man himself. I hope everyone does this. And that's our show for today. We don't know if we went over an hour. That was my hope. But that's the Regular People's Podcast, episode 3, which will
You know what it is.
hopefully be available everywhere. It will have the full episode. It will have the clips that will be posting daily. And guys, get your friends to just subscribe. Just please subscribe. Even if you don't watch the entire thing, just please subscribe to our channel. Do a notification if you are really interested in the content. We will be dropping a video every day, the entire week, just to ensure that we are communicating. And we are going to start a WhatsApp group as well, or a WhatsApp specifically for the podcast, where we are going to be interacting with people who are interested, so that you guys can put inputs. We can invite you guys to the pod so that we can talk.
Yes.
Because that's what we want to do. We want to talk to regular people. We want to talk to one of the things that we want to do really is to get a psychologist, professional psychologist on the show.
To talk to really regular people on the show,
on the show, and to talk to us. We are going to have a psychologist session on the show coming up soon. Professional, we're gonna pay for it, and the professional is gonna come, and then so that we can try to help with this mental health situation. But that's the show for today. How do you feel about the show?
The show is wild.
The show is wild. Well, I hope people will see it like that. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you very much.
Let's go.
You know what it is, man.
Yeah.
New levels, new devils. I'm gonna cut that part. New levels, new devils.